So in this lesson, Shalom. So in this lesson, I'll be covering this number 7 in a few instances in the Bible, regarding how it means completion, a completion of something, when brothers say that, according to the scriptures, which I'll be showing according to the scriptures through the spirit and revelation of Yahweh Shem Shai. So before I get into it, call Halam La Yahweh Shem Shai Wahara Kakodash. And double honors to the hopefully elect elder apostles, slaves to be saved, Lord willing, starting with those of the GMS church, and shalom to the rest that may be out here under that same doctrine. Onward to the men here at this congregation, you Akim, that's in the order, giving diligence and all truth, faith, and sincerity. Okay, teaching, and onward to the rest of the Akim, you Akim, doing likewise. To the rest of you believers in on this faith of Yahweh Shem Shai as well, you women and men, and women and children and men of the Israelite race, shalom to you also. Okay, those of us that are, hoping and working and having faith that we'll go on to, be showed to be of the house of David, to have been of the house of David, man. Okay, that remnant. But anyway, this is Isaiah 4:1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So you read this, it says 7. Now in the scriptures, this is used a few times, 7 this, 7 that. Like in this instance, Proverbs 24:16, for a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. And you'll hear brothers say, there's just a complete number of some sort. But through the Spirit, we're going to expound on it and show that's true according to the scriptures. It just represents completion. But like I said, we're going to expound on it. So I'm reading one more time. It says, Isaiah 4:1, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man. So a complete number of women. It says, saying we'll eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Right? And it'll be the same thing in this instance. Proverbs 24:16, for a just man falleth 7 times, right? A complete amount of times, right? As they say, right? As we say, right? It says, and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. Another instance. This is 6. So this is dealing with, it is another instance, but before we get to 7, is we're gonna deal with the 6, right? So this is talking about the 6 seals. Now when you read these 6 seals, for some reason it's 6. Why? And the 6 is dealing with pretty much the things that have to be done before pretty much the kingdom come. Okay, which is an array of things: destruction, Lord coming back, famine, War 3, just destruction, all the wars, everything, martyrhood, for those that was, in the end times, of the Hebrew Israelites who were subjected, fell away from who they were, and, ultimately resurrected spiritually to come back into who they to come back to life on who they were, and will stand for it and will die. So that's all the things the 6 seals consist of. It's a bunch of things that have to happen in order for the kingdom to come. Now, when you read the last verse, it says what? For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Which is the final level of, everything, which is when the Lord sends his sons back and he completely, and the angels, they completely reap this place, the harvest, to do everything, pretty much that'll be the completion of the 6 seals, right? Now, that's the end of the 6 seals. Now, when you read chapters in a note that's in chapter 6 of Revelation. Now, when you get to chapter 7 of Revelation, the next thing that said, which you could say, right, that's accurate to say because the Bible wasn't originally, the scrolls weren't originally ever in chapters or verses. That was a new thing for people to be able to, locate something they were looking for. So this is a run-on, right? 6 is the next thing said right after the last thing said in chapter 6, in that last verse. And what said? All of this. Okay. It goes on to say basically everything is about to be ended, which is ultimately through the nuclear destruction, which is that lake of fire finally coming, which will be manifested and brought through the nuclear destruction, World War III, which is the result in the desire in the destruction of America, which is the Lord's desire, okay? Because it's the daughter of Babylon, mystery Babylon, the mother of all harlots, okay? And in the process, the Lord will have the remnant, the people that so-called Jesus Christ was, majorly prophesied to come back and save, being set up and put in position to be saved, which would be the remnant of the Israelite race, of the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, through them getting this doctrine and locking into it. And it goes on to talk about the 144,000, the government body being set up, being established, being manifested. Okay? And what? You jump down to verse, that's what this chapter is going into. And you jump down to verse pretty much the end of this chapter to tell you what, that is over with. The kingdom is here now. Okay? So that's the complete manifestation of the world to come. Now I'm gonna say the complete well, yeah, that's the manifestation of the world to come. In this instance is complete. So 6, right, followed by, and on the 6 being all those things, those 6 seals, and then after that 6, right, will be, if you were counting still counting 7. After that 6 will be all of this, which is the setup of the kingdom. So they show you what that 7 represents completion. Now, moving on. Psalms 103:14. And we're gonna show you that the Lord, why this is the case. Lord using 7 and 7 to show completion, and why it's pretty much a method of the Lord, if you will, right? Verse 14, it says, "For he knoweth our frame, he remembereth that we are dust." So the Lord, he deals in balance. This is another instance to show that 7 represents completion, because when you think about a frame, only like a picture frame, you can only fit a picture in there that the frame can hold, So the frame will represent us and what we're able to hold, what we're able to bear. Okay? So you got to keep that in mind when the Lord's saying he's going to bring 6 seals of this upon the earth, and then on the 7th, none of that is happening. The Lord deals with he deals in a way to where he always consider, the frame. When he's talking about 7 women, a man taking hold of one man, a man falling 7 times, you keep in mind that what's always there is the consideration of that one man's, frame, what he's able to hold, right? Which is how much completely he's able to hold. That's 7. Okay. So when you go to Revelation 12:3, it says, I'm gonna actually start at 2. Be not conformed of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect. Another word for perfect is complete will of the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, which is what I'm doing. It says, verse 3, and this with this lesson, it says, for I say through the grace given unto me to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as the Most High had dealt to every man the measure, see, of faith. See that? So the Lord, he when he deals with man, he gives man something. He always remembers our frame. When he gives things to the earth, he always remembers, the earth's frame, which man is on, include man's frame in the same time, meaning simply how much it can bear, it could take, right? How big he made it, showing you what, and this proving it too, that the Lord deals in measure. It's a certain measure allotted to every man based off their frame. See that? So let's get another one. 2 Corinthians 10:14. For we stretch not ourselves beyond our measure, as we, you know what? Let me get this. I'm gonna just read on. 2 Corinthians 10:14. For we stretch not ourselves beyond our measure, as though we reach not unto you, for we are come as far as to you, also in preaching the gospel of Hamashiach. So yeah, we not gonna, once again, he's saying we're not gonna stretch ourselves above our measure, meaning you can't do more than what the Lord has given you. You can't bring forth any more that the Lord has given you, which he's not gonna give you more than you can bear. Right? Verse 15, it says, not boasting of things without our measure, that is, of other men's labor. See, not boasting of things without our measure. Nothing that you can take, your frame can take, like a frame itself, will be within that frame. It's going to be outside of that frame, without that frame. But simply, it says, not boasting of things without our measure, that is, of other men's labors, but having hope when your faith is increased, that we shall be enlarged by you to rule abundantly. Right? Meaning collectively. Everybody measure brought, which is a certain amount of whatever allotted to them based off the Lord considering their frame, how he made their frame, you see? And that's basically it. This the point. 1 Corinthians 12:28, and the Most High have set some in the church, first apostles. It's like it ain't it. I'll just read this now. 1 Corinthians 15:38. It says, but the Most High giveth it a body as it hath pleased him. See? It says, and to every seed his own body. So there it is. So the Lord, he gives everybody what? A certain frame. He has given everybody a body that's what you see physically. That was, according to what he deemed one able to deal with, or should deal with, or one that one should deal with, which goes into things like judgment, but that's a whole nother thing. But so once again, I'm gonna start at 37 though. It says, and that which thou sowest not that body that shall be, but bear grain. It may chance of wheat or of some other grain, but God giveth it a body as it hath pleased him. See, and to every seed his own body, going into when he said, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and I ordained thee a prophet. See, so Jeremiah was tripping on how he was a child. He couldn't take basically the heat that would come with it. But he was like, before you was even put in your body, which I framed, you're gonna be able to take this because you can deal with this measure based off the frame I created I created for you. You're a prophet, so you can take these things, you can bring forth these things. You're able to. It's in your frame. You can hold the mysteries and bear the burdens because of how I made you, because of your frame. So I'm telling you, a prophet, to go out and prophesy, because I've done this in consideration with your frame and with your frame in consideration, how much you can bear. Ultimately, how I created your frame, But not to get too much in other things, it says, verse 39, all flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another of flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds. So there it is. So the Lord, he gave everybody different bodies, meaning different frames. So with different frames, you're going to find different measurements, right? So that's always considered to be considered, and by us, because it's always considered by the Most High, be perfect as the Most High is perfect. Be as your Heavenly Father. Be perfect as your Heavenly Father, which is in heaven, is perfect. And understand that's to always be considered when something is coming your way, or reading about something that said to come a man way, which is a man from a man falling seven times to a man receiving 7 women, or however you want to word it. Okay, because with doing that, you're gonna be able to understand. It's not gonna be no more than what a man can bear, and we just seen that 7 represents completion. See that? So it's a complete amount of women, or however many times for that particular man's frame, was considered completion for that man. This is 2 Ezra 4:36. And unto these things Uriel the archangel gave them answered and said, even when the number of seeds is filled in you, right? That's complete. For he hath weighed the world in the balance. It says by measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he do not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. So the Lord, everything has a frame with him. And with that being the case, once everything's going to be filled, hence completed, which we're going to prove by getting this word fulfilled, at different points, when it comes to different frames, different people, let's get it. You got the word fulfill.
Fulfill.
Right.
Fulfilled.
Right. So it says satisfied or happy because of fully developing one's ability or character. So everyone develops their abilities. It's subjective. See that? Because one we now know that the Lord deals in measure, right? And the number 7 represents completion. So when he said, even when the said measure is filled in you, right? Which is the Lord giving you something, or you completely having something to its fullness that the Lord has given to you, based upon your frame, according to your frame. You have went through something at the highest level you can go through it based off your frame. Hence fulfilled, right? Meaning complete. And once again, complete or fulfill is another word for complete, which means jump down to fulfill. It says bring to completion, right? Or reality, achieve or realize something desired, promised, or predicted. See that? Complete, a period of time, piece, or piece of work. See, satisfy or meet. So when it said when that, like, that's it, it's for you. So it's completely fulfilled. It's completion. So the Lord deals, when he deals in measure. He gave everybody a measure of everything based upon how he made their frame. And he continuously, as we live this life, give us things according to our frame, right? He's going to give us a measure of things because he's always considering our frame. See that? And it's going to be, once whatever the measure is that he gives, it's going to be one that's fulfilling. It's going to be it's supposed to be a full measure of something based upon your frame, meaning completion. So that's how the Lord moves with individuals. And once again, 7, if that's not clear, this is on RachelStarThompson.com. I'm going to start with this. It says, as several scholars have pointed out, Gabriel's use of the term 7 weeks at the beginning of the prophecy is clearly meant to give the whole passage of time a jubilee structure. And indeed, 77s leads to 490 years, a quote-unquote grand jubilee in biblical numbering, where the number 7, right, for perfection, which is for perfection and rest, is what they have, right? It says it's multiplied and magnified by number 10, signifying completion. But no, 7, because when you look up the word perfection means what? It means complete. See it right here. Perfection is a state variously of completion. See? So that's just even according to so-called scholars, you know? It means completion. All right, when you look the etymology up and you go to the Bible, Genesis 2:1, thus the heavens and the earth were finished and all the host of them. And on the 7th day, because the Lord finished the work in 6 days, right? Well, he did the work in 6 days and it was finished on the 7th. The 7th was completion. It says, and on the 7th day, the Most High, or the powers, ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he made. Now, when you get the word ended, you got the word kala, which means what? Complete. See? It means to complete. And you see this in the year of release, which is Deuteronomy 5:1. At the end of every 7 years, thou shalt make a release. Yeah. So 7 is completely completion. So even in the likes of the Lord was inspired by something the elder brother, the elder Yasha Wamba, he said, which is going into how even, he said, thou shalt forgive thy brother 70 times 7, paraphrasing. Yeah, that's a set number. Okay, that means just completion, which going in and to expound on it once again, it means what? According to one's measure, according to one's frame, according to who the person is they're given only a set. They're giving them a number, a set amount of something, everybody and everything, which is always going to be according to their frame, because the Lord has created everything with a certain frame. So once again, when you read Isaiah 4:1, and in the day 7, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man. Yeah, going into completion again, or fulfillment. What's considered complete for that man, Once again, fulfilled. Which comes in from 2 Ezra 4:37, starting at 36. And unto these things Uriel the archangel gave them answer and said, even when the number of seeds is filled, what does filled mean, right? in you, for he had weighed the world in the balance. By measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times. And he do not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled, which is according to how I made this frame, according to how I made this person. Their tolerance, what they're able to take, what's complete for them, what looks full for them, what's considered full or complete or perfect, fulfilled for them. Fulfilled means
fulfill,
to bring to completion reality, right? And it means what? Gain happiness or satisfaction by fully developing one's abilities or character. Back in Isaiah 4:1, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man. See, so that means according to that man, a certain amount of women, according to that man's satisfaction, desire was complete for him. A number of women for him, according to his frame, what that looks like for him, what he considers that to be, what the Lord knows that is for him. That's how many this man is going to have. Proverbs 24:16, for a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. So what's considered a complete number of falls and slips ups and offenses in certain areas, and when it comes to certain things for this man, right, or woman, according to their frame, say, thus says the Lord, what I'm saying? The same thing. Matthew 18-22, but it say, we'll start at 21. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? Till 7 times? Right. Yahushua said unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7. So that's even a completion, but the Lord is pushing us to pretty much go beyond, not go beyond, but be forgiven, because this is completion. So what that completely looks like for that brother was a measure, or for that brother, or that sister, that's what that would look like according to their frame. That's that according to that too. Once that's completed or satisfied according to Heavenly Father, all right, that's enough. So that's what 7 mean, and this was just an expound on it through the Spirit. You know what I'm saying? So call Halam like Hawabah Shemi Al-Shai with Hawakakadash for it, because brothers say it all the time, but I never really completely seen how brothers could say that, and I never seen anybody expound on it according to the scriptures. I always knew that because I knew about the numerology stuff, but according to the scriptures, I know it's true, and it's true as I prove, but on an expound level, this is what it actually means, so to one's fullness, how many times a person can do something, or what's full for them. So, shalom.